Man, let's talk about something real. Let's talk about a game changer. I'm talking about a shoe that did more than just cover your feet. It changed how we look at sports. It changed how we look at fashion. It even changed how we look at business. I'm talking about the Air Jordan. Before this shoe, sneakers were just sneakers. You put them on to play ball, you took them off, and that was it. Nobody was lining up around the block for them. But then, this one man, this one shoe, came along and flipped the whole entire script. It created a culture. It created a frenzy. It's a story about greatness meeting opportunity, and it all started with a kid from North Carolina who could fly. You gotta understand, back in the early 80s, Nike wasn't the giant it is today. They were making running shoes, trying to find their footing in the basketball world. And then you had this rookie, Michael Jordan. Everybody knew he was good, but nobody knew he was going to be Michael Jordan. You know? Nike took a massive gamble. They didn't just offer him an endorsement deal. Nah, that's too simple. They offered him his own line, his own shoe. The first Air Jordan, the Air Jordan 1, was something else entirely. It wasn't just another boring all-white basketball sneaker. It was loud. It was bold. Now here's where the story gets legendary. The NBA, at the time, had these strict rules about what colors players could wear on their shoes. Well, the Air Jordan 1, with its bold black and red colorway, broke those rules. The league wasn't having it. They reportedly fined Michael $5,000 every single time he wore them on the court. Nike made this commercial that was just iconic. It had Michael Jordan on screen, and they put a big black bar over the shoes. The narrator says, on October 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Genius. Pure genius. They turned being a rule breaker into a badge of honor. It made the shoes forbidden fruit. Everybody wanted what the NBA said you couldn't have. Okay, so the shoes are a hit on the basketball court. We get it. But where Air Jordan really changed the game forever was when it jumped off the court and into the streets. It became bigger than basketball. It became a staple in culture, especially in hip-hop. Rappers who were the new rock stars started wearing them. You'd see them in music videos, on album covers, everywhere. Guys like LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys were rocking Jordans. This move into streetwear was huge. Jordans became the go-to sneaker for looking fresh. It didn't matter if you ever planned on playing basketball in them. You had to have them. They went with everything. Jeans, tracksuits, you name it. Wearing a pair of Jordans was like a silent signal. It said you were in the know. It said you appreciated style and you respected the GOAT. It became a status symbol, a key piece of the uniform for an entire generation growing up in the 80s and 90s. And then something else started to happen. The shoes became collectibles. People weren't just buying one pair to wear. They were buying multiple pairs, one to rock, one to stock. People became sneakerheads, obsessed with tracking down every colorway, every model. Limited releases and special editions made the hunt even more exciting. It created a secondary market where some of these shoes were being sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. It was a frenzy. People would camp out for days just to get their hands on a new release. So here we are today, August 14th, 2025. Michael Jordan hasn't played professionally in over 2 decades, and yet the Air Jordan brand is bigger and more influential than ever. How is that even possible? It's because the legacy is so strong. Nike made another genius move by creating the Jordan brand as its own separate entity. It's not just about one man anymore, it's about a standard of excellence. The brand stays relevant by tapping into nostalgia. They do this through retro releases. They bring back the classic models from the 80s and 90s in their original colorways. This is huge. It lets people who grew up wanting those shoes finally get a chance to own them. But it's not just about looking backward. The Jordan brand is still pushing the envelope with new designs and new technology for today's athletes. The main Air Jordan line continues with a new model every year, just like it always has. Ultimately, the story of Air Jordan is the story of how one man's greatness, combined with brilliant design and fearless marketing, created a global icon. It's more than a shoe. It's a piece of sports history, a fashion staple, and a symbol of chasing your dreams. The Jumpman logo doesn't just represent Michael Jordan anymore. It represents the idea that with hard work and a little bit of swagger, anyone can learn to fly. And that, my friends, is a legacy that will live on forever.